Welcome to Common Hood. This your Ace, your Boom Doom, Simon P. To my right and your left, I have Miss Ayafika. I might mess his name up. Megadella Harmon. Did I say that right?
Magadlela.
All right. Say it again one more time for him.
Magadlela.
All right. And she is from South Africa. So when we talk about this show, Polygamist on Netflix, you got somebody true gonna tell you how this polygamist really is over there. And to my left and your right, I have Mechelle Caldwell coming from underneath the rock once again for this little juicy topic right here we have on polygamists. Now, before I get started, I learned through Ayafika that the writer of the show was from Zambia, which is South Africa. Miss Sue Nayate, correct?
Sue, yeah.
Yes.
Sunyati.
And she says, I'm going to let her talk. You say, in South Africa, that polygamous is a real thing and it's normally done with royalty and kings. I'll let you elaborate on that.
Okay, yeah. Not really royalty. Yeah, that depends. For example, I'm Xhosa. Mostly people in Xhosa tribe, it's like royalty where people do that. But it is something that is legal in South Africa, and there's a way of doing things. Yeah, there's a way of doing things. You don't just do them like that. There's always be talks or arguments about that. Okay, this is what I want, and do you agree that I should do this as my wife? Right. So you don't just do it. Yeah. So
Okay,
you have to sit down with the wives or your wife and you talk about it.
Now, Mechelle, we're not from South Africa. We're from America.
Right.
So I said that polygamous goes on in America. We just call it cheating. Same thing, right?
Definitely agree, because there's no talk with cheaters. They just do it. They don't consult.
They don't consult. So in the way of doing things in South Africa, they have to consult.
They have to consult. Yes, not unless you went and had a girlfriend. So that is cheating. You went and have a girlfriend, didn't tell your wife that, okay, this is what I want. This is something that was practiced by my ancestors, and it obviously is my culture. So this is what I grew up also wanting, because I saw my grandmother or grandfather doing it. So I also want it. So you have a sit down, okay, how are we going to do it? Sometimes a wife is going to be involved. Okay, I'm going to look for you. I'm going to look for a wife for you, because now this is a person that is going to be with me as woman. So I know exactly what I want and what kind of woman that I want to be in this with. So they look for that, and how they do it, they start cheating on the side, and then like, okay, now I want a second wife, but they already have a girlfriend. But you call that polygamy? That is not how it's supposed to be done, because now you started by cheating.
Without consulting.
So you already have a girlfriend in mind that you want to marry. So as much as when you get married, it will be polygamy, but it did not start that way.
That's good. That's good.
So they got cheaters in that over there in the motherland too. Now, you American, good lady.
Okay.
What's wrong with what she said? Because I have no problem with what it's saying. That it's like, I think if I want to do that and to discuss it, if my spouse gives me permission, I would entertain that. And you say hell to the no. Why is it hell to the no?
Because I'm not consenting. You heard what she said. It had to be, you have to consult, and it has to be agreement. What I heard her say, when he goes out and he cheated, that he didn't consult with the wife. So now he went out without consulting. Now, if there's women who want to consult to that, that's their choice. But give that woman the choice to decide if that's what she wants to do. Not every woman wants to share her bed with another woman.
Why is there so much emphasis just on the bed, though?
Well, because he's got to share the bed. He's not going to only be in your bed. He's going to,
They're going to share their bed at separate times.
Again, Simon.
Go ahead. They're going to share their bed at separate times.
But you have to be willing and agreeing that
you're not going to say, I'm just saying, now I'm speaking from a male point of view with this, how I feel. So if you're going, first of all, reason why the cheating become, because it's such a uncomfortable situation created for the woman to say that, hey, I'm not totally fulfilled. And then you got to go through this long checkbox on you answering your wife why you're not totally fulfilled, right? So that makes it difficult to have that conversation. So you just go out and say it's easier to keep home happy and just go get your fulfillment. Isn't that what you call a selfish attitude that men have, right?
Well, first of all, we're going to go back to communication because we've talked about communication. So before you gotten married, I will hope that you have these conversations, because if you know that the possible husband that you're going to marry is high sexual nature and you're not, then you need to address that now. Is this going to be something that's going to be a problem in the long run? And obviously, if she won't be able to match that energy sexually, then y'all need to address that right now and not wait until you're married, because the emphasis of the sexual drive is not going to change when you get married. So if you already know, and that could be vice versa, if the woman has a high sex drive and the man doesn't, that still needs to be addressed, because what's going to happen if they're not going to be able to match each other now, it is going to go left in the marriage. So that is a conversation. And I don't think people like to talk about that. No, sex is not the number one thing in a marriage. Communication is one.
But when you say polygamy, that's the number one thing you think about is sex, which I'm going to go back to the characters of the show.
Okay.
And we're going to go through a statement that I believe her name was Madumi, which was the daughter. So I'm going to skip the 22 episodes to get to the last one.
Which one?
At the funeral. At the funeral, when the daughter got up, Maduma, the one that kept herself a virgin and whatnot, and remained herself pure because she wanted a good husband. But she said the best part of her dad's life was the women in his life. I'll let you be first to address that.
Did she say that?
Yes, she did. When she was standing up at the end of the funeral, and she mentioned that one of the best parts of her dad's life was the women, but it's the same stubborn girl that was telling her mom that she don't know how she put up with Jonas. So why do you think she said that?
I don't know. Maybe she meant it in I wouldn't say in that way. Maybe it's like, this is the best part of my life because it's a lesson that I had to learn that, okay, this is what I learned from my mother. My mother did this. And then there's Matipa, and then there's all the women that are in her life. So for her, it was a lesson how she's going to go about when she is married. It's like, okay, this is what I don't want for myself. This is what I want for myself because I saw my mother going through this. So I don't want to be in the same position as her or something.
Well, let's establish that Jonas was a liar. He did it first. Then he came back and said what he wanted. So, but let's just go to each character that he talked to. Now, we know Joyce. Joyce was the wife, right? What's so special about Joyce? They say and at the funeral, she said she was classy and that she was obviously smart, and they built that company together, which I believe the father kind of gave them the seed to try to get there. So put yourself in Joyce's shoes. From the first time that she became aware of, what was her name? The little young lady that
the first
that the person that left Matipa. Give us an example of how do you think how that was handled by Joyce? We already established that Jonas was a liar, that he had started that from the get-go. But he did make it clear that I need her, and she did agree. That's fine. We'll make this happen together. What would have been your reaction? You would have murdered him then?
I'm gonna be. I'm definitely gonna say I would have not agreed to it. I wouldn't have. I mean, that's just me. Because because of my belief, the Christian, I'm not going to agree to that. I've not going to agree to the fact.
I think in the beliefs in the religion spectrum, I think the Christianity is the only religion that says one. But I think the others have more than one.
Okay, but you asked me, would I have agreed with Joyce's character? No, absolutely not.
Okay, absolutely not. And the why is, what's the why?
Cheating.
So it would have been done after the first, you broke up family and all behind that one person. You would have made an emotional reaction. How would you have approached it? Based off how Jonas was.
I wouldn't have agreed with that.
Okay.
It's a no.
Got it.
It's a no.
I'm gonna agree with you guys that I think Jonas, because he did communicate his interests first. And for everything he did, Jonas seemed to be feeling like he was very entitled. And he was very stubborn. And I don't think he really considered his consequences. He kind of made an excuse on the why that he did it. But it's going back to the daughter when she said that the best part of her dad's life was the women. So Joyce, I think you might have mentioned that you thought Joyce brought class, right? She was a classy woman. What's your view, Joyce? You thought she was a classy woman?
I agree.
I think she was very educated. We can all agree that she loved her family. But did she love her family unconditionally, that she forsake ever breaking up her family to give them their father presence in the house, that she endured it? You think she was a fool for that?
I don't think she was doing that for the family. It is, there are women out there who loves being a wife. They like that title. And I feel like Joyce is like that. She did not do anything for her family. That was not for her family, because she was breaking the family, and her children did not want that. So she didn't care, but she just wanted to be a wife. And all she cared about is her image and how are people going to see her. So I don't think she did that for her family.
And I would agree with her. I would have definitely agree, because if you went through the whole series, you could see how it was tearing the children apart.
Yeah.
Like, even they were trying to figure out why mommy, because the son wasn't happy, because he was very abusive to his son, and he really didn't have a whole lot of time for his daughter. So it wasn't like he was the father of the year.
I don't think he was very abusive to his son, Menzie.
You don't think he was?
No, he offered to spank his ass one time when he kind of challenged him, and he swung at his daddy and lunged to fight as his daddy. And that was the first time you saw him pull out his belt and let him know that you a spoiled little brat.
I don't agree with that.
You spoiled little brat. Now, in this culture here, my mama is 79 years old. If I swung at my mom, I guarantee my mom would get a 38 and find a way to shoot back.
Okay, so here's
what do you think led to that? As much as you shouldn't do that to your parent.
No,
but what led to that?
Well, what led to them of the children knowing too much of the personal business of Jonas and his wife Joyce? That's why certain things supposed to be kept away from children. So that's what led from the child be thinking it's disrespectful, but yet he's not entitled to do direct the way he did, with lunging and punching at his father. And at the end of the day, he ended up really becoming his father, which you'll get to that a little later. That's just my opinion.
Is it still a personal business if it affects me as a child? That now we don't have a father here. My parents are taking me to live with Matipa or the side chick. So that is it's not really personal. So this is like a family matter now.
It's a family matter when Joyce decided to bring this young lady to the forefront to make her a wife. That was her choice. And because she was selfish just as much as Jonas, would want to remain to keep her image, it's just funny that the same image that she wanted to keep, what did Jonas cheat with? Just think about it.
Okay, so
just think about it.
Okay, so I need to back up just a minute, and I think you will see.
Her name was Matipa, the very curvaceous young lady.
I'm not talking about that. Okay. I'm talking about if you really focus in on it. Jonas was never very warming to his son, even before all of that happened. That's a buildup, and because I work in behavior, he pushed his son to that. Because he always called him soft.
I can agree with that, but he was soft.
Okay. But did he take the time to build him up? Did he make him feel loved? Now, let's be real. Now, I understand you talking about we in the culture of Western, but let's get to the real.
Everybody can't be a good daddy like LeBron James.
Okay. Well, okay. But his behavior towards his son pushed him to that point.
Okay.
Now
I can agree with that.
He never. You don't talk at your children. You talk to your children, and you make them. You connect before you correct. Okay. He never connected to bring correction. So therefore, the relationship was broken all the way up until the very moment this young man had enough, and that was his breaking point.
That was his breaking point.
Okay.
Okay. So he could have been a better father. But the issue of his affairs shouldn't have been out in the open like that. You know, it's just like saying what goes on in me and mama bedroom is our business, not yours. So I think the sharing of his affairs was just out in the open too much for children, in my opinion. Like when I was watching, I was like, you know, it should have been such a shock to these kids when Joyce said we're going to allow him to have his second wife. That it should, but the shock was we know of the cheating all before. So that's something that I don't know is the proper way. They say things done in a proper manner, but it wasn't done in a proper manner by husband and wife, in my opinion. It's like they say, don't argue in front of your kids. You heard that statement? Don't argue in front of your kids that say it's not good.
Well, I mean...
Don't fight in front of your kids that say it's not good. They can pick a side.
Yeah, I agree to that as far as being more mindful of how you adults handle their affairs. I agree with that. But I was really focusing on your question about him swinging at that father. That's where I was really coming from.
You say it's a build up to that.
That's what I was
because
really
he wasn't nurturing him and his mom protecting him as well. Like sometimes you have to step out of a way of a man when it's come to dealing with your child. That's just my opinion. Like sometimes the mama can't overstep those particular boundaries with a relationship with a father and a son. That's just my opinion. Now, you disagree with that?
I do.
Let you have it.
I disagree if it's not going to be, if it's toxic, then I'm going to step in as a mother.
What did he do that was toxic besides not giving the time? That's what was toxic.
What I would say about Jonas is, it's not your question, but what I would say about Jonas, and I find a lot of men from where I'm coming from thinking that providing as being the father, okay, you have a roof over your head and that's it.
It's
And
like
you're
that
not
over here
there.
too.
And you're not there emotionally. You just don't know your children. You just
You just raising them up.
you're focused on making money, taking them to school, providing this, and then you are surprised when they turn out a certain way that you don't want them to. Like you want them to be this certain person, but you are not there. Yes, you were here, but you were an absent father who was here.
He wasn't absent though.
But if you're working all the time and then you
He
don't,
provided and did all those things, and they gave them a lifestyle to do anything they want, and a mama to nurture them the full time because she didn't have to work. So personally, isn't that what all women want these days? Isn't that how it's taught?
so
That
you
if a
think-
man don't have anything, don't talk to him. If he got a whole lot, he still got to do more.
That's individual perception. I don't see it that way.
Well, I know for me personally, if I'm in a position where the wife don't have to do nothing pertaining to those things that's very challenging to do, as she say, provide a home, provide the food, provide that there's only so many hours in a day. Now, could he have managed it? It is a movie. It is a movie, but I think he did. They had their particular functions and gatherings that they did as a family. They had their dinner room table. They had their time. That's just what I saw in the movie. And his wife had all the time in the world to make sure that those kids was built up that way. And if the husband say that boy is weak, get in line. He sees something you don't see.
And now, for you to say that is what we want to stay at home and don't do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But raising a child takes two.
Mm-hmm.
It does not take one. I can be at home, but as a mother, I can only do my part. There's also your part that you need to play as a father. So I don't believe in that.
Got it. So Jonas should find more balance is why his son decided he can ball his fists up and swing at me. I beat my son ass. He did that for me. I'm going to be honest with you. But I do agree that it has to be a little bit of balance. That's why I say I appreciate LeBron James because he got through making his a career with nothing stained on his life, personal life. And it appears that he was a good father to balance it. So it's done. How you think Badumi was affected?
Boomy.
Babumi?
Boomy, yes.
Okay. That's why I got you here. South Africa all the way.
Boomy.
Babumi.
Yeah, I feel like as a mother, more especially when you are raising girls, you should be more mindful on how you are handling I'd say your marriage or your relationship, because now you're raising a daughter. What are you teaching that daughter now? I really felt sorry for her.
I did.
Yeah, I really felt sorry for her.
I did too.
And she really, if you really look at it, she didn't know her place. It was like she was constantly like trying to figure it out, like, where do I belong? Like you said, she ended up finding out about the affairs. Then on top of that, her friend, which she thought was her friend, was found out to be her sister. And her sister ended up doing something that was so painful.
Well, it's interesting you bring up Sarah because she was one of the daughters.
Yes.
But I think Sarah helped her identify herself because her mama had Mabumi, right?
Boomy.
Thinking that she was just better than.
Did you think she was better than Sarah?
Oh, yeah.
How so?
Oh, yeah. Sarah said it. who are you? She mentioned some negative things in that movie about where they come from. She mentioned something about that, which made that young girl feel that certain way. So when they kind of eked out, like you've been able to live in this particular lifestyle, whereas in Soweto was the place where Jonas lived at. I mean, not Jonas, Sarah and the mother. She always coveted a better lifestyle.
When did Bumi say that? Why did she say? Was it the time where
I believe it was
the cell phone was missing?
Yeah, the cell phone's mentioned when she stole it.
Okay. And who stole it?
She stole it. It was her choice. I got it.
I'm
right?
coming out because I was working with that too.
No, go ahead. Go ahead and got it. Go ahead and have it. So when that scene happened with the stolen phone, which I'm sure it was tracked to their house, but she didn't exercise it. And she made her think about her choice so much that she didn't want no apology. And she's saying, you're not understanding her and that you think you're better than me. And she pretty much confirmed that I am.
And how was Sarah's tone? Because now that was like an argument.
Yes.
So if someone is going to say, oh, why do you think your cell phone is here? You think you're better than me? Yeah, I am better than you. You stole my phone.
Right.
So it was that. I feel like it was that.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
And then let's tie them both in.
Tie them in then.
Okay.
Tie them in then.
Sarah had her reasoning behind her feelings. She was being in a place where she didn't ask to be. She came into a situation, into a relationship that was built but on lies, and she had to live a life where she couldn't be apart. Then the daughter, Joyce's daughter, was in a place where she couldn't identify with who she was because now she's dealing with all the adults' affairs. So these poor ladies, they were struggling with their own demons. If you really, they were struggling with their own demons. And unfortunately, when people are struggling with their own demons, it's very hard for them to come to some kind of logic way of thinking. Because they're both hurting.
They're hurting.
Both of them are hurting.
Both were hurting.
Both were hurting.
And they're young.
And they're young. And they're not mature enough to really understand how to handle what adults have now brought them into. Because I'm quite sure when Sarah learned that was her dad, but she had to be quiet and she was able to be around them but never identify.
Okay.
That's a very painful place to be and see all of this, what your dad is doing for the other siblings, but I have to be hush hush.
Well, that's when Jonas was an evil person, in my opinion. That Jonas was an evil person to continue to get that lie, which brings us now to the beautiful Essie, who was the daughter of Sarah, who wanted to take the lead. Mother. Excuse me. Mother. The mother of Sarah. Essie, how we define her?
Oh, for me, Sarah. So no, Essie, I feel like I don't feel sorry for Essie at all. I feel like Essie is one person who knew Jonas from the beginning, from when Jonas was young.
Yes.
So she used to cover up for Jonas, and so she knew what she was getting herself in. And and then now bringing her children into that. If she was alone, then that's fine. If you want to live your life like this, that's fine. But now bringing your children into this life, I feel like she was very selfish, because I don't know why she kept on, or she kept that relationship, because there was no relationship. And I don't know why she acted like that, but I honestly don't feel sorry for Sarah. So for Essie.
For Essie. You don't feel no sympathy for Essie.
Not at all.
And from your culture, basically, she, like you said, she had a son from someone else before so while Jonas was off, she ended up having a son.
Yeah.
from
From
someone.
someone else. Yeah.
And then him and her got together and had Sarah.
Was Essie, before she had the son, was she married to Jonas?
No.
No.
They were dating.
They were dating.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it ended up becoming the wife at once
After,
he had Sarah.
yeah.
Is that how that went?
No.
There was no
Yeah,
clear.
because I don't know.
So Jonas, Essie gave money to Jonas so he can go further his studies, right? And then he never came back. And then that's when Essie ended up having freedom. And then years later, Jonas came back. And I do think that Jonas felt sorry for Essie, and he was being appreciative of the fact that he's here because of her. Because if she didn't give him the money, he was not going to be able to go to university and meet
Mhm.
and
I
meet
can see that.
Joyce, and then be where he is. Right.
So he felt like, in a way, he owed her.
He owed her,
to do
yes,
something.
yes.
Like he put her in a house.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, end up having Sarah but here it goes back to, what's your name again? I want to make sure I say it right.
Ayafika.
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 That he was basically cheating with Essie because he chose Joyce to be the wife. But he still felt that, Essie was the one. Because I'm now understanding what you're saying. Essie was the one.
Was supportive.
Was supportive. So
well, you didn't have nothing.
Right.
Essie was very supportive for you to be able to meet the classy Joyce that come from a family with money.
He felt like he couldn't just cut her lifeline off, that he owed to just make sure she was good. Even though it came back to what you were saying, it was a selfish move because she had a son.
Yeah.
It was selfish on her part?
Yeah, it was selfish because she had a son. Then she ended up getting pregnant from John with Sarah. And now you got the brother acting like he married to her. So
No. Essie didn't have that.
Well, Jonah, whatever.
Jonas wanted that.
Okay. But
she just loved them enough to keep it because Jonas had his whole family going on too at the same time. Isn't that how it played out?
Mm.
So that's why for me, I'm a fan of Essie in this instance right here.
Okay.
I'm a fan of Essie in this instance. She was supportive when your black ass didn't have nothing. When you came from the hood of Soweto, did I say that right? Soweto, when he came, she protected him. She supported him until he got himself educated enough to impress Joyce. Joyce was always classy. Classy from everything she did was classy, besides being a murderer.
Sworn woman.
Question is, did she really kill Jonas?
She was an accessory to the murder. She paid a lady that she know was fully infected and took advantage of Jonas' weakness, which is, they said in the movie, when she whispered in his that she knew that sex was an insatiable need to have sex is the one thing that killed him. That I couldn't get you when I tried to burn your house down. I couldn't get you when I poisoned you. But I done had enough. And you see death do us part. She made sure that it was going to be death do us apart. And she sent a woman full of AIDS in order to go ahead and it's Jonas' fault because his strong desire to just stick his Johnson anywhere. Me personally, I was like, hey man, she gave you a little young lady, and Joyce has given you everything you need. I didn't think that behavior when he caught AIDS. I'm like, part of me was saying, man, that's what your ass gets. You got three women, all love you in different ways, and you getting your fulfillment in every way. And Joyce still said, come home and stay. So I didn't feel sorry when it got it. I was like, ooh, that's karma. That's karma. That's karma. He had everything he needed. It took him threw him in to do it. But he did have everything.
Well, I wouldn't even say because he had a fourth one was the daughter friend.
Yeah.
And I felt that was now when I realized that he had done brought this young lady into it, and at that point I'm like, come on, John, like, come on, like.
Well, let's go back to Matipa. Why did you think when the daughter said that the best part of her dad was the women in his life, what good parts you thought Matipa brought to the father? Because that's the one I dislike the most. Besides her looking curvaceous and just lusting for her body, outside of that, I'm like, what did she
Nothing.
value did she bring to you?
It's the excitement, I would say.
Yeah, it had to be the excitement because I agree with you. I don't
there
see
isn't anything there.
You know what they say, long marriage, you got to find a way to keep it exciting. So that was her role. She kept Jonas exciting, and Joyce saw that. And one of the worst things you can do is say, go ahead. You have each other. Wake up over there, Mechelle. Do you not agree with Matipa at all? You hate Matipa the worst? I think she was the worst of the characters, Matipa.
I mean, first of all, she slept with the brother. Let's go back there. And then when Jonas told you leave him, and she's like, so you're gonna be mine. Like, where was she thinking? I mean, help me out.
She did not care about.
Yeah.
She was not really there for love.
Status.
It's for her. It was about power and status and what are you going to do for me? Remember when Jonas now dumped her, she was like, okay, I'm going for the next powerful.
Yeah,
minister.
that's right.
So for her, it's about power and who has.
It was never love.
It's never love. Yeah.
It was lust.
She does not really care about love. She just wants someone who's going to provide what she cannot.
Well,
as much as she's educated and all that, but she just wants to be here.
And whatever
it takes.
Yeah, and the expense of whomever.
Chasing that bag. We currently live in that culture. Matipa was bold, but she was the worst one. I think I didn't see what value besides a sexual encounter from Jonas was. Well, I wouldn't have put my wife through that. Not like that. That's why I mean, if you now have to look at the exterior, if I had to have a polygamous relationship, I think I would have had Essie. Essie and Joyce would have been enough. Because Essie gave him the laughter, Essie gave him the happiness, and she darn sure showed supportiveness. And her support was even more difficult because she's supporting in something that she built. She helped made him into that, like supporting him, like, hey, I believe in you, Jonas. Go. But it's like having a chance to go to get out the hood and you say, go. And you like, I'm scared. Go, Mechelle, go. And you call back and say, I need a little something. Here, stay. That's what she did that I think that's immeasurable. You can't put money on that. That's high character what Essie did, in my opinion. But Matipa, ooh, she was a bold one, boy. She was a bold one.
That's another one that I don't think she was a victim. I don't feel sorry for her.
Yeah, I don't feel sorry.
She got what she deserved because she put herself in that position.
Mm-hmm.
It was not even a matter of, what they like to say that, oh, your husband came to me. No, she couldn't even say that because she went to the husband.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. And then she showed up at the I guess their anniversary.
Their nerve.
Yeah.
Their
showed up and I was like, when I saw her come, I'm like, are you serious? She showed up. And that to me was a bold statement. But like you said, she was looking for she wanted power. She didn't care how it affected anybody. She just wanted what she wanted.
Yeah.
She was selfish.
Yeah, she was selfish.
She was selfish.
There's a lot of selfishness in this movie. And
Yeah.
Matipa and Joyce, to me, were the two selfish ones.
And Essie, why you not counting Essie?
Why you don't?
Because Elsie compromised everything and held it all in for the benefit of all.
Why?
She benefited all.
Because she loved the money. She loved the money.
I mean,
she did not care about her children.
Yeah,
That's
but,
right.
But the money that she had, it came from Jonas, which is very moderate compared to how he did the other women.
But
for
her, it was still a lot. It was still a lot.
It's a lot. But you know, maybe I'm a little different. You know, try to do the same for all. Like I think Jonas had the money to put her on the same living standard as the rest. And then, secondly, the youngest one, which we're gonna need to lead into, Lindani. I feel sorry for Lindani.
Yeah, Lindani is young, so I kind of like also, as much as she did all that, but I also like, okay, she's young and she grew up in this environment and with no father figure as well. I'm not saying that women are incapable of raising children, but in that she was in a tavern. She grew up in a tavern.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's all she knew. And then now her friends live in the suburbs and they have everything.
Mm-hmm.
So that is what she was trying to have. Because this is what she wished she had from a very young age, because they started being friends at the age of 8, I think. Yeah. So that is what that is all she wanted.
Right.
Yeah.
And because when he gave her the credit card, she said, okay, daddy. So she really, even though it happened to be sexual encounters, I agree.
That was all on the maturity level of Jonas using his power and success and being able to read that language. That this is an easy piece of little snapper to get real quick because of her vulnerabilities. And he took advantage of it.
He did.
And he lusted for her when he came home and saw her dancing on
the table.
Didn't see that one coming.
You know what? I didn't see that one
because I thought he was just looking.
No, he looked, but it was that look. As me as a man, I'm like, man, look how he looking at this little girl.
I didn't.
As a man, I was like,
it took me by surprise because when she's on the table doing that, I was like, maybe he was just looking around because there was a whole bunch of things going on. He was trying to figure out why all these people in his house. So I did not. I'm like you. I didn't see that.
As a man, I called it. Because even the camera tried to pause it enough where he like,
No, I didn't see that. I'm like, this is your daughter.
And then
you wouldn't do that to your daughter. You know, you're just looking at her because what are you doing? Get off the table.
Yes, that's what I saw.
It showed the first time when she was dancing on the table. I think it showed again when him and his son was together and she walked off. And I'm thinking at that point, I said, okay, well, maybe he's going to teach his son
That's what I thought.
How he's going to get her. But then it showed like, nah. I said, he gave that second look again.
He was like, okay.
I got to get that.
Yeah.
I got to get
that. I thought he was going to do that. Like, okay, you like her. Let me help
because he was constantly trying to find a way to have the courage.
Yeah.
And then a couple times, because she had a boyfriend. So he was, and of course, the other young man was trying to teach him how to, go for what you want. This is how you need to act. And so he was so unstable how he wanted to, because he really wanted to be with her. And I really thought the dad was going, at some point, was going to
help him out.
Yeah, no, I really didn't see that part. Was a shock.
It was a shock to me too.
Yeah,
I'm like, what?
Yeah, well, I kind of saw it from a man point of view. Like, is he gonna translate it? Because he had did so many other things that was just like kind of.
But not this one. This one was like.
Yeah, I didn't think so with that. I knew something bad had happened at that point. So, and leaving, we talked about how the effects of it of children.
Mm-hmm.
So, in a polygamous relationship, we went back. You mentioned communication. That had he had communication and all agreed, is it impossible to have unity in a polygamous relationship when all parties have agreed?
From what I know, if things are done the proper way, yeah,
Okay.
there will be unity. Because now, for example, before we get married, as a first wife, before we get married, this is what I know. You are like, okay, I am coming from polygamy. And I will think to myself, okay, if you're coming from that, so chances are we're going that way.
How about if I say it this way? I'm a fornicator. I come from the issue of fornicating. I've been dating you the whole time and trying to establish. Now I want to get married because for whatever the reasons are, I see some value that fit that I'm looking for. So reality, when we say we having it up front, let's just get to the Christian view that having it up front of saying polygamy is like marriage, a relationship. Don't you think it's all a test? Like all these different things that we say Jonas is the other women, that you say the other women provided for him outside of the bedroom. You say that we said that Joyce was the classy type, told him how to move in the circles of the business circles. You know, she come from that, taught him.
Mhm.
Essie, he was happy to go there and have fun. He laughed, they drank, they talked. Seemed like they just got along more naturally or organically. The young girl was just a sparkle. Just a sparkle because maybe after being married for so long, if she was just a sparkle or just, I guess, treated like a leftover. So is it impossible to have unity? She say if it's done the right way, you can. So what's your view of it?
Well, I mean, she's speaking from the aspect of coming from her culture, right? So she's speaking. I'm thinking you're speaking because
Yeah.
you know in your culture where you came from that if it was an agreement, it can function. That has never been something that was cultural over here in our culture because we were always taught in the biblical way that in the beginning there was a lot of wives and there was concubines and all that, but also God saw where it caused a lot of dysfunction.
It ain't never say that God saw where it caused a lot of dysfunction. It never said that in the Bible.
Let me rephrase it.
Okay.
Let me rephrase it. Though the issues that came along with the multiple relationships. Somewhere in the Bible, it became in Corinthians about the one wife and the one husband and the helpmeet and all of that. Now, I'm not going to put it in the terms because I'm not the Bible person.
Yeah, we're going to say that for a different conversation.
Yeah, but I'm just saying in our culture, right, we've never experienced it as far as agreement to polygamy. That's what I'm saying. I'm not.
And I'm saying in our culture, and we mentioned this earlier, that the leading cause of relationships breaking up or divorces of marriages breaking up, we said that it's either something with an outside of affair or it's tied to money. So it does happen if you just remove the titles and the vocabulary terms that we're using. It's a consistent thing that happens. There's very few, and at least in our culture here, that is not. So it is practice. Here's an example of what I mean. You may be married, but they say, child, he been cheating all his life. But she said, that's my husband, and I don't see it. I ain't gonna listen to what y'all say. It may happen, but the way says she is treated, let's just say in case of Joyce, had everything, did everything was perfect. Just that he was nasty with his, the way Jonas portrayed. So I guess you're saying that in South Africa, being that it's something that's practiced, that's it. So the question is that I would like to leave out with that if polygamous could be a legal way here, because you say we in America, we don't practice it, we're taught one way, that if polygamous was a legal term where you can agree to it, would you participate?
No. I'm telling you no. And we can leave like this. Because marriage is a covenant. And that is not up for negotiation, Mr. Simon P. We're not going to negotiate. And we're going to come back to this question about, I might not get, the next time we come on here, I'm going to be unfounded in the Bible because I'm not Bible person.
Yeah, you
knows
can,
every
you
scripture.
can find it.
But I know there's some way God saw that it was not good. He said there's not good for man to live alone. When he laid Adam down, he didn't make Eve and Sarah and this. He didn't get 3 people out of that one rib. So let's go there.
Well,
let's go there. He didn't make the one woman out that rib.
I think I'm gonna close this. I heard him. Okay. I'm paraphrasing this. Okay. I'm paraphrasing.
I'm gonna come back to that one.
It said that when God, it's my business partner told me this. I'm trying to paraphrase how Mr. Nee told it. I think he said, let me paraphrase. I may be wrong. Don't get offended. Okay. Because as soon as we leave, we can get it clarified real quick. I believe he said that man was created in the image of God alone. Meaning everything man had was already there. Because the task of managing all this here world, he said, I'm going to get you a helpmate. So man came in ready for a woman to help him meet whatever that obligation is. Period. And it starts off with respect, and more respect. And they say that man will give you all the desires of your heart. So all of this other stuff. So here's an example where I say I would be a polygamist, that I feel like it. In this case, in the show, it showed different parts of different women that fulfilled him in different ways. I feel like his wife allowed that to happen because she didn't fulfill that. As your guys had said, that she was selfish, worrying about her status and a certain image that she was wanting to keep up with. So maybe she didn't want to compromise any more than she already did. So Jonas, go have it. Now, in the case of it being you with a woman for 20 to 30 years, and in a 20-year, 30-year periods, when the women get in their 50s and 60s, things change. But the seed still is alive. Whether the seed is planted in 1 minute or 30 minutes. I think that would be okay to allow that to continue.
But when you say for better, for worse, what do you mean? What did you mean?
Yeah.
I never meant it. I never said it. That's a vow. That's a vow that we are taught for better or worse.
Yeah.
That's a vow that we're taught for better or worse. That's just like for better or worse. Okay. Let's just say that there was a athlete that just got diagnosed with the Lou Gehrig disease, the ALS. Chris Johnson that played football, they just had him on the news. 39 years old, him and his wife. And she's there. Do y'all think Chris would be wrong when he said, baby, I got my beautiful kids and you fulfilled everything for me. I don't want to hold you back like that. And she said, baby, I'm going to stay in marriage with you and it's okay that I have an extra affair because of you, that. If they agree, that's better for us. How worse can it get? And we still saying that it's wrong if Chris Johnson told his wife to go do that.
That's being selfish.
And they got, that's selfish, and you think it's selfish too. So that woman's supposed to suffer from, let's just say God allowed him to live from he's 39 now, from 40 to 50, 10 years, from 50 to 60, for her to remain celibate all those years, even though Chris Johnson saying, I love you enough that if you're saying we're going to be married, and if that's a fulfillment, I love you enough to have that.
Let me also make clarity when it comes to polygamy. It's not about, like, from my house, it's not about the sex. It's about, it depends what your beliefs are. It is never about sex. So what we see from the polygamy, it's not about that.
Not about that.
Yes. Some are from like, okay, I want more kids. You cannot give me what I want. And some are like, this is part of who I am. This is what my granny, this is what my grandfather, this is what my daddy did. It's about that. And some, it would be like some who really believe in the ancestors and they talk to them. It's like, okay, I had a dream and this is what happened, you know? So for people who are like that into like, we still worship or we still talk, not really worship, but we still talk to our ancestors. So those are the things that you would understand, but it is never about sex.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
Well, I've said that though. Look at the example I gave. I said Chris Johnson had Lou Gehrig disease. This man cannot do anything, and his wife is married. I asked the question that if he told his wife that's 39 or less than his age, that it is okay for you to have other fulfillments. I know we say sex is a part of it because that's all we thinking about. But if she go out to have another functional life, remember, he can't do, the Lou Gehrig that strips all your muscles. He can't do anything. If he's authorized that, I don't think there's nothing wrong with that polygamy. I just said about the kids, want more kids. Instead of buying long-term care insurance, have more kids.
Well, I hear
in
what
that
you're
case,
asking.
it's a space to it when you look at it openly and objectively. Now, in this particular entertainment instance, yes, Jonas was dead wrong. When we go out and do our things as men and we just take charge of it or whatever the case may be, yes, I get all that. But at the end of the day, there's a place for everything. Better for worse have to be looked at. Looked at that would be better.
We cannot say a lot about other people's marriages.
No, can't.
That. But for me, I would, if now my husband would say things like that, I don't think I would take that because I know how he would feel when I start doing that. And I'll put myself in his shoes and I'm like, okay, if it was me, would I be happy with this? As much as I cannot do anything, but I committed myself to be in this marriage for better or for worse, right? So in sickness and in health. So if you're still here, why do I need some other, like to have, what is this? Oh my gosh.
A woman won't have no problem. Once her body says she can't have no more kids, that's a wrap. You ain't got to worry about that part.
Why do I have to have more affairs if this is the person I told myself and I made a commitment to him and God that I will be with him? So I will be like, no, it's fine. I'm not gonna take that.
Better for worse, richer for poor. What's the other one?
And sickness and health.
And sickness and health.
Now, and only because I'm saying that because I do know someone that was very sick, and she honestly, for the 12 years, did not get involved with another person. She took her covenant serious. I think marriage is not a contract, it's a covenant. If you understand the biblical principle of it, it is a covenant with that person.
Don't sign that contract. Just keep the covenant. And we out with Common Hood. This is Simon P. and Mechelle and Ayafika. Don't sign the contracts of marriage. Keep the biblical covenant. Because what I've seen that when worse come, I'm getting out of this stuff. Some with sickness come, I'm getting out of this. I can't deal with this. Rich and for poor, what we just said, some of the causes. We said it was sex was one and finances. So let's just take the sex out and just leave it with the finances. Stay your pole behind right here with me. Don't matter what. You're going to be miserable with me. This is Common Hood with Simon P. I'm out.